Give me my theme music. What is up, Buff Nation, and welcome into Buffs News Weekly Live. I'm your host, Russ Dornish, and welcome into our Wednesday afternoon show as we are now officially 2 days into spring football practice. And we're going to talk about yesterday's practice. We're going to talk about everything that's kind of happened the last 48 hours in regards to the team. Some tidbit news, anything you guys might have missed from the different well-off videos. Took some notes to make sure we didn't miss anything. Would love to get your thoughts and opinions on what you saw. What are you most excited about? Who were you most excited about to see? And what you are thinking so far after day one is in the books before we get to see a live look into day two. So appreciate you guys for coming along for this ride today. Of course, as you guys get settled in, make sure you hit that like and are subscribed to the channel. We are almost to 4,500 subscribers, only about 7 subs away. So make sure to hit that subscribe button while you're in here so that you can help us reach that milestone this week. Without further ado, let's chat about the first day of practice. Of course, we got the first bit of footage yesterday afternoon, and we've got a lot to discuss when it comes to that. But first up, we're going to go to the beginning of the video to have a quick conversation. Obviously, we had a number of strength and conditioning coaches leave Colorado in the offseason to go to other programs. So again, getting promotions, getting bigger opportunities. Obviously, we replaced our head strength and conditioning coach by pushing Coach Mo to a different role and bringing in Andrew Swayze. So we also needed, though, some regular leveled strength and conditioning staff. And we found out yesterday through the videos and team meeting that there are 2 female strength and conditioning coaches that are interviewing for the positions. Both of them bring kind of a different aspect and a different view and look. Loved what I heard from them in the well-off videos describing why they deserve to get a full-time position. As Coach Prime said, who knows, maybe we hire both. I will be honest, both of them actually were pretty impressive. The first one was Tessa Grossman, which, by the way, if you go and Google her, she has quite an impressive resume, so to speak. And she talked on that resume and experience in the video. She is currently, or was currently, the director of VCU Sports and Performance for Women. Before that, she was at Middle Tennessee State University as their director of strength and conditioning. So she was the head honcho over at Middle Tennessee State University. Very impressive for her. Been around football for quite a while. Also an intern for the Jets, Falcons in the NFL. They have those different fellowship programs for strength and conditioning and assistant coaches, and she was a part of that over there. And then also a grad assistant at Illinois State for their strength and conditioning program. So a very, very, very nice and long track record and resume for Tessa Grossman. The other one, not as much experience, and that would be Morgan Cote from, at least she said in her introduction, Texas A&M University, where she worked in the strength and conditioning program there, I believe, as either an intern or a GA. She didn't really specify. Her thing, and what I liked about her more was, man, was she well-spoken. Definitely seemed like she knew her stuff. Came at a very, very, I would say the word I want to say is confident standpoint when she was speaking up there. Motivational standpoint for the players and being a staff member. So both bring very different things overall. One has a ton of experience, and one seems like she knows her stuff and has that kind of going for her, the motivational aspect, which I think would fit in very well to Coach Prime's staff and Andrew Swayze's staff. So if both got picked up, I wouldn't be surprised. If they both do their thing, I wouldn't doubt that Coach Prime would not hire and pick up both to be a part of the staff. So that was an interesting piece of the first day that we got to see, was them kind of coming on as a trial, coming on as an interview aspect for that strength and conditioning staff. So very interesting part there. The next thing up that I want to talk about with you guys today is going to be, of course, the position battles that we got to see in the actual practice. Now, first day of practice, we're not going to get a full picture or anything like that, but you at least get an idea of, okay, who are running with the ones. So who right now are in the lead for those spots, so long as they keep it up, keep their work effort up, do the things they need to do off the field as well. And the big thing that we could point at and look at is not necessarily the full starting 11, because we did not get a look at the receivers, minus obviously some one-on-ones that we got to see or anything like that. But we did get to see the full offensive line line up against the defensive line and the linebackers, as well as the quarterback and running back. So that gives you an idea of who's running with the ones. And the reason we can say that is because, of course, Jordan Seaton is a guaranteed penciled starter at left tackle. So with that being said, when Jordan Seaton was in, here is the lineup as I saw on Well Off. Again, verified the numbers, verified the players. So this is factual as of now. Of course, that might have changed at today's practice. That might change going forward. But we've got Jordan Seaton at left tackle, and a little bit of a surprise. A little bit of a surprise. A lot of people had penciled in, myself included, that the left guard would go to Zy Chrysler. But instead, we've got Kareem Harden, and Lil Bucket coming in right as I'm about to say it. So we got Kareem Harden at the left guard position. So we've got Jordan Seaton, Kareem Harden. At center, we've got Cash Cleveland. So far, Zarian McGill going to have to make up some space to get into that role. It makes sense to me because Cash Cleveland was the team last year. He knows the scheme. He knows the plays. He knows all of that stuff probably already. And Zarian McGill is going to have to play catch up when it comes to that. That's why I always say the incumbent players should have a leg up over any incoming transfers or anything like that. Okay? So that is where it's at. Oh, his body is transformed. I didn't even pay attention to that too much. I will say the whole offensive line did look big, strong, looked like they needed to. We'll get through the whole thing and we can talk more on that. But I would agree on that. Everybody is looking transformed besides just the offensive line. And I will point out a couple others that were a little bit of interesting note. So Cash at center. Right guard was Zy Chrysler. I wasn't sure who it was. I saw the number 72. If you go look at the roster from last year, 72 was technically was technically Ben Resnick, who some people had penciled in at a spot or at least a depth piece. Well, Zy Chrysler now has that 72. I knew immediately when I saw the 72, it was not Ben Resnick. Was not Ben Resnick. So I wondered if it was Chrysler, had it confirmed by several other people. So Zy Chrysler, instead of starting on the left side, starting on the right side right now. And then the other surprise is the right tackle position. And that is because a lot of people had him penciled in as depth left tackle. And that is the new incoming transfer, Mana Taimani. So Mana Taimani at your right tackle spot. So the line as it was pulled out yesterday for the ones, Seaton, Harden, Cash, Chrysler, Mana Taimani. Okay, that is who your ones were yesterday. Makes sense. Again, we'll see how Mana does at the right tackle spot. I still think that that's a spot that we're going to go after in the next upcoming transfer portal. But that's, something interesting to think about. Yeah, Chrysler played right guard last couple years at Illinois. Makes sense to keep him there where he's experienced. Yeah, and Brady, it 100% does. But just so you know, and from what I hear from a lot of guards, kind of both sides are interchangeable. But it does make sense if, again, Kareem Harden, maybe a little more experience there, understands that, has been working with Seaton a little bit more before Chrysler came in. That would make sense. And then Kai Moore. So it looks like Aki was hurt. are you saying I don't know Aki was hurt or didn't know he was, or is he? I know that a lot of people have been penciling him in as a potential to fight for that starting position on the right side. But there it was. What was your hint? It wasn't Resnick. Brady, you know what I mean. You know what I mean there. But yeah, so I don't know if Resnick is on the team still. I don't know if he just is changing numbers. Do not have that confirmed one way or the other, and don't want to speculate. For now, I just know that 72 is now Chrysler. So TK saying Taimani not starting game one. Okay, so you believe this is just to start spring, but he will eventually lose that spot. Very interesting thing there. Lil Bucket Monai is bigger guy. I don't know if right tackle's a right decision for that position, but we might get somebody in the spring portal, and that's my thoughts. Unless he just absolutely blows it away in spring practice. The hard part is really the only chance you're going to have is one-on-ones to be able to like show your ability to block. So I do think that just because of the depth that we have at that position, we'll guarantee to go after somebody to really challenge for that spot. And so I would agree. I think it's going to be an uphill battle for even him now, as I believe somebody will get added. Robert coming in. Russ, who else do we need to add to the trenches for the portal? Like, what position do we desperately need? It's the right side of that line. I would say right tackle is going to be the biggest need in the portal. That we're probably looking at linebacker. We need depth there, but we'll see how those guys perform. Outside of that, I don't think we need to add much on the defensive line unless maybe interior if somebody really, really good comes up. But we do not need a ton of stuff when it comes to that. Maybe another tight end to add to the tight end room. That could be something. The other thing that we wanted that I wanted to mention and talk about that ran with the ones, Caden Salter started with the ones at quarterback, and the one that I think a lot of you are going to give a lot of hair pulling right now as I say it, and that is Dallin Hayden was the running back one in the backfield running with the one offense. Now, I will say, back to the comment earlier about Lil Bucket who said that, Kareem's body has transformed. Dallin Hayden's body has really transformed. I've been talking about that this offseason. Every video that you see with him, it's obvious that he has put on some bulk this offseason. So you wonder if he's going to go for a different type of running style this season compared to what he has been in the past. Bulk up, maybe be a little bit more of a bruiser than a speed back. But yeah, Dallin Hayden right now is your running back one per what we saw running with the ones. I saw him slinging with, saw him in a sling on well off Aki. Okay. I didn't notice that him in the background. If that is true, then, maybe that's why we see Monatai Mani starting at the right tackle. So I would agree with that. See you cut back on walk-ons. Resnick might not be on the team. I've seen a bunch of the normal walk-ons, though. It's been a little bit surprising as well. We need a big, strong running back. I would agree. I would love to see us add a running back on the spring portal when it opens. Lil Bucket, I saw Hayden and IA split reps with the ones because IA did a screen pass with Salter. I agree on that. I did see that play as well. So I did make note on both of those, but I just know that a lot of people were thinking that there was no way Hayden is running with the ones again. Thought it would probably be a split between Isaiah and Micah. Obviously, Dallin's still there, still working hard, still a part of the program. So, that's what I think we got going on. Hayden got heavier, but Isaiah, I don't know, man. He's looking dangerous. I love that too. Isaiah acting like Booby Miles. I love that interaction with Marshall Falk asking him, hey, what are we going to do as punishment if you do certain things? And Isaiah like, we ain't going to false start. We ain't going to false start. Absolutely love the interaction there already. It has to be, admit it, guys. It has to be a little bit unconventional, a little bit intimidating to have Marshall Falk as your running backs coach. There's one thing where he picks you, where he goes out and recruits you, and I think he will do that for some big time running backs. There's another thing already being on the team. I mean, imagine what, Charlie is thinking, working with a Marshall Falk now in his room. That's got to be something that's at least a little bit crazy. Harge looking different with gear on, bigger than I thought. I mean, every guy is going to grow bigger each and every year, guys. The more time you get in a full D1 strength and conditioning program, the better. Some of them are late bloomers. Some of them are not. You know, you look at the IMG kids. Those kids come in looking like men, and they can, you know, kind of take that next step. While others who come from maybe high school programs that don't have the same sort of strength and conditioning take a little bit of time to develop overall and grow into their bodies. But Harge is looking good too. Yo, world, appreciate you dropping by. That was my next note, by the way, that I had. So very interesting to see Farrakhan working with the punt team, working with Phillips and Coach Prime on returning punts. That was not in my bingo card to see him as a potential punt returner. Love to see that. And then the one-on-ones, Farrakhan looked absolutely unbelievable in those as well. So I would agree with this. He might move up that list for potential players to break out their freshman year. So Farrakhan might be somebody to keep an eye on as these practices go. Brady, I think all three running backs are good and we're set there. Can't show anything when there is nowhere to run and basic dull run scheme. They're running hard though, and I like to see it well. We need at least two more interior defensive linemen. Yeah, I said interior would be the only thing on the defensive side that I could see if there's some really good ones to bring in. Depth on the edge though. We do not need edge guys. That is for sure. What do you think about special teams this year? Well, we've got a special teams coach finally, since they named that this offseason. We're going to have to see. I like what I've seen from the videotape from our new punter and his time at Kansas, what he can potentially bring there to replace Mark Vassett. Again, I love the kicker, Buck Buchanan, that we brought in from the transfer portal. I'm going to be interested to see if we give him some more reps at field goals, but the dude is a touchback machine, which is going to be unbelievable. That's all we need, guys. We need a touchback on every single kickoff this year. That would make a massive, massive difference to this team overall. So I was so glad to see us get a touchback specialist in Buck Buchanan this offseason. One of my favorite adds to this team. It will make a big change. Quinnell Farrakhan and Harge did great yesterday. Yep, Q and X will be the returners for sure. Q is so fast. So fast. Charlie belongs on the bench. Tired of these Make-A-Wish players. You said it. Marshall Falk preaching fundamentals first day. He's teaching the backers how to grab the handoff with thumbs down to the chest, elbows up. Little buckets, the little things like that. Things that maybe a running backs coach would not normally focus on. Something that Marshall Falk knows, excuse me, works. He's going to have the little things. You know, again, I keep harping back on the story that we heard about Saquon Barkley and Marshall Falk talking and him really hammering into him. Hey, don't kick the ball out too early in the game. Load up, go down the middle, grind out yards, and then pick your battles and opportunities to make that bounce out when you see it fit, when you put that defense to sleep, almost a rope-a-dope running back style that Marshall Falk said Saquon should put into his game. And look what Saquon had as far as his season goes, 100%. Scobuffs, no updates yet on the extension. I know that people wanted to look into what he said on the podcast with, who was it? Chico and the pregame show, Uncle Neely. And, you know, he threw out a little jab saying, you know, pay me my money type of thing. And I saw some people already carrying that on Twitter and being like, oh, Colorado doesn't want to pay him his money. Colorado's not going to pay him. Coach Prime's going to walk because he's not getting paid. Guys, there's a lot more red tape to that. If you don't think that if tomorrow, you know, the AD could go and sign Coach Prime to an unlimited amount of money contract, he would. Okay. This is not a case of, you know, them not wanting to do that. It is a case of there's a lot of red tape and politics and all sorts of things when it comes to these contracts. I agree. Give him a blank check at this point. I don't care. It's not my money, but it is the school's money. And so we are going to have to wait for that to be taken care of. Let's keep a tabs on it. It's going to be okay. The school is not wanting to pull money. They're not wanting to make things harder. Okay. There's just a lot of things that have to do with it. It's not an overnight thing. Let's see as time goes on if we see more and more movement for it. Trust me, the moment that anything starts picking up, I will let you guys know here in the chat. We should use Cam Michael at running back also. I would like to see that as well. I'm going for Farrakhan and Quentin Gibson. Okay, I like it, Lady C. Appreciate you. That man, Coach Hart, getting on the linebackers' ass, too, about technique. Expects more fumbles this year. I love that they spent time at practice doing peanut punch drills. I don't think we did enough of that in the season. You know, we looked for the big hits to try and get a fumble rather than using the proper technique to force fumbles. That's what we need to see more of this season. And I love seeing that being really, really drilled into everybody on the defensive side of the ball. What's good, Dre? Appreciate you dropping by, Coach. Thank you for checking us out again today. Thank you for dropping by. What about Michael, the shirt guy? He is good. Who are we talking about there? I need a little more on what we're saying. Marshall Folk preaching the fundamentals means Coach Flea was not everyone is not P4 talent and coaching, and it showed. Oh, gosh. Please don't get the hiccups right now. But agreed. It's going to be a big difference, guys. It's going to be a big difference with the running backs. It just is. I don't care who the coach is. When you got a Hall of Famer, it's going to be a big difference. That's what Mike needs to work on. He kicks out too early. Yeah, use that downfield momentum. Kick out when it's super open, you know, when it's actually there and open. And if you do it constantly, you know, you're going to tip yourself off to what the defense is going to be able to figure out, all of that. Farrakhan a slight edge over Omarion Miller because he's still hurt, but X wants the starting receiver job. Yeah, so he's going to have a leg up. He needs to take advantage of it right now. Omarion is still coming back from that injury, still getting prepped. Okay, so until Omarion hits that field, take advantage of those reps. Everybody should be. Everybody should be. So it's going to be very important and very interesting to see that. What's good? Appreciate you Unspoken dropping by. Thank you so much for that. Always appreciate you guys and your support. Hey, yesterday's video hit nearly 3,000 views. Sorry, last stream's video here near 3,000 views shows me that even after a long break, you guys come back with a vengeance. So if you're watching this later, if you're watching this live, I appreciate all of you guys so much for, again, letting me be able to do this, have fun, get to cover some buff stuff. And again, let's see where this takes us. Let's see where this takes us. Just know that you guys are all on the ground floor, okay? I'm not going to forget any of you guys, no matter where this ends up taking me. You know, if it ends up becoming an actual official position at some point, who knows? You never know. You never know what's going to happen. East Coast Kev, Colorado's loaded with cash. Do you know how much the cost of houses are in Boulder? Well, East Coast, I'm moving back to the area this summer. So trust me, I'm house shopping. Not going to be living in Boulder. And my wife is going to be working in Longmont, Colorado. We're not looking at a house in Longmont either. A lot of those Boulder people are moving to Longmont and commuting because the houses are cheaper than Boulder. They're still expensive because, again, more and more people are moving to the area to work in Boulder and do things. So you see that. Looking outside, looking more in the countryside, you know, a la what Coach Prime has. No idea where he works or lives. But some of the houses we've looked at definitely have a view similar to what Coach Prime has. So I can imagine he kind of lives out in the general vicinity and area that we're kind of looking at. But yeah, houses are not cheap in the area. Not to mention tuition for Colorado is not cheap either. So East Coast, when you say they're not low, you know, hard up for cash, not to mention they have an endowment that's doing pretty nicely. It's going to be fine. What's up, Ollie? Or Allie? What's up, Allie? Welcome back in. Appreciate you. Russ, I know this is early, but do you think we have a chance against Georgia Tech? Some of the media from Georgia Tech saying we're in rebuilding stage. Okay, so this is an interesting thing because, again, this is what happens when the outside is looking in. They see a Shador and a Travis leave, right? Two superstars, two potential Heisman winners gone from the program. How are we going to replace them? Here's how you replace them, and here's why I think we are going to be fine, Robert. And I think that a lot of Georgia Tech people would be sleeping on us if they thought that. This is exactly like Coach Prime said. Last year, we had great players. This year, we will be a great team. Okay? It is not about a couple of players. It is not. It is now about a better team. So rather than being heavy at Travis and heavy at Shedeur, we are heavy a lot of places, okay? Heavier. Not as heavy as those two are. We're not going to have like your automatic Heisman hopeful at the beginning of the season. Heck, if you thought somebody on this team was going to win the Heisman, I'd put a bet in right away because that would pay out insane amounts if you really thought that somebody had a chance to that. So when it comes to that, I'm saying we are much better across the board. We are a more even-keeled team. I think the play call is going to be better. You know, I wanted to bring up the fact that Pat Shurmur spoke to the media, and in the nicest way possible, I think he said what a lot of us have been saying. If you've been around my channel, if you've been around other creators' channels, Shedeur was given a lot of free reign when it came to RPOs, and he took the passing 90% of the time. Okay. He was not handing the ball off when it came to RPOs. And it sounded like the way that Shurmur was talking about that, the way that Shurmur was talking about running the ball, I think we might go away from RPOs a little bit more. I think we might do some more truly designed runs to get the run game going. I think you bring in the new offensive line coaches. I think you bring in a Marshall Faulk only if you are going to focus a little bit more on the rushing game. On top of that, you look at a guy like Caden Salter, and he is a much more balanced quarterback in the sense that he can run. He can run the ball. Okay, not saying that Shedeur couldn't run. Obviously, he did. But I'm saying Shedeur was not a 1,000-yard rusher. Caden Salter is. Guys, Caden Salter is a 1,000-yard rusher at quarterback. He's already done it once in his college career. He also threw for 3,000 yards that same season that he ran for 1,000. So a lot of different things. Hey, if a team like Georgia Tech wants to listen to the media and they want to sleep on who we're going to be and think, oh, rebuilding team, we're going to have an easy time in Boulder, I would say we have a much better chance of winning if they take that stance. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say right now. Okay? That is what I say. Okay. Come on, computer. If there's issues right now, I apologize. My computer is hiccuping and having some issues. Might be some heat time. We'll see. A blind man could see that Coach Flea was not getting through to his running back room. These players will be at full attention for Coach Falk. Shirley, welcome in. Welcome in. Appreciate you coming by as always on this Wednesday. Guys, we're already up to 175 viewers. Are we going to hit 200 today? Make sure to hit that like while you're in here. Boulder is the top 1% of real estate in the country. Nope, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. Lady C, thank you. I appreciate that as always. Colorado donors are just cheap when it comes to donating the football team. Don't give a damn. The problem was prior to Coach Prime. They didn't want to give money to the football program because the football program was not a priority. Trust me, the giving is up for Colorado football compared to what it was before Coach Prime. We're still building the coffers, so to speak. And if you don't believe that the $20 million of shared revenue is not going to go a majority to the football program, then you would be highly mistaken. They know what's going on right now, and what the football team is bringing to this program right now is, exactly what we're seeing here. Okay. So don't believe that for a second. Just saying. Coach Prime's house is in Longmont too. I figured, Jay, because again, the views, he's definitely outside there in the country. So that would make sense. I mean, I've seen some unbelievable $2 million homes in the countryside that look like Coach Prime's estate. So I kind of figured he has to be in that general vicinity area. The views are ridiculous, by the way, guys. That area, if you can get outside of the city, the views that you have unobstructed because there's nothing between you and the mountains is absolutely fantastic. I will definitely be posting a photo of the views from our house when we get it all figured out and situated, because we've looked at a couple of really great houses that have unbelievable views on the outside of town. Just to let you guys know. Yep, $2.1 billion endowment. CU's not strapped for cash. Are we seeing a receiver with Travis numbers? Allie, I think no, because I think it's going to be more spread out this year. When in doubt, Shedeur went to Travis. I could have sworn there was plenty of times that I saw Will Shepherd wide open, that I saw LeJounte wide open, but Shedeur loved his Travis. And Travis, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, guys. You look at his contested catches, even when he was covered, Travis caught the ball. So there's not a problem with doing that, but I think this year we're not going to have that, and we're going to spread the ball around evenly. So we may not see full Travis numbers. We may see similar numbers from somebody or a couple guys, but we're not going to see, I don't think, full because we're going to spread the wealth. Usain Caden Salter slang that thing yesterday. Hey, I'll be honest with you guys, Lil Bucket, everybody else, we've got a true quarterback battle on our hands because you cannot tell me that you didn't see Juju throwing the ball and not think, oh my gosh, guys, he can sling the ball. He throws a beautiful ball. And just the effortless way that Juju throws the ball is absolutely insane. Okay? Absolutely insane. I wanted to talk about that because both quarterbacks balled. Both quarterbacks balled from what we saw. Both had some great, fantastic throws. Both can sling the rock. Guys, we have talent in the quarterback room outside of a starter. Can you believe it? Like, as long as both stick around and both are fine with what happens this season, if somebody were to get injured, heaven forbid, knock on wood, okay? I'm knocking on wood. Don't worry about it. The other one could come in and do just fine. We would not be season over like we would have been last year had Shedeur gone down. Like we were the year before when Shedeur missed some time. Like, we're not going to have that absolutely. Two is biased when it came to Travis. These new quarterbacks will feed everyone. LeJounte got 10. I know. LeJounte could have easily probably had 15 to 20 is what I'm trying to say. He could have had 15 to 20 with how wide open. You go watch the the full field view, the all 22 video. LeJounte was open like 90% of the time, guys. I'm not even kidding. If the line held just a little bit better on some plays, we would have had even more yards. Like, Shedeur would have been a Heisman quarterback. Like, you put Shedeur behind like the line that Cam Ward had at Miami, and Shedeur was the one in New York going for the Heisman. It's why I have no doubts that Shedeur is going to be successful at the next level, because people are saying like, oh, Cam Ward is the better quarterback. Guys, Cam Ward literally was never touched it last year. And Shedeur put up nearly the same numbers as him. Like, really? That's what I'm saying. Shedeur better get used to being under center, handing that ball off. That air raid won't cut it in the pros. Yeah, he's not going to have that freedom. That's for sure. Caden Salter loves the backers and tight end. We feed in the families this season. I mean, we saw screens, guys. Can you believe that? We saw a screenplay in practice. Guys, let me repeat myself. We saw a screenplay to the running backs in practice. We're talking about practice. Like, come on. Two was force feeding Travis every game. Other receivers were wide open. Yeah. I mean, the Oklahoma State game, good example. I was there in person. I was watching off of the ball. And I mean, I counted Will Shepherd open at least 5 times. One of them for a touchdown that Travis got for a touchdown on a contested ball. It was obvious what was happening that game, which was, hey, we're going to win Travis the Heisman right here. I'm fine with it. We won that game, so I can't complain. But there was other opportunities. Mike Welsh, who's referring to, okay, gotcha. Hey, Micah, I love Micah. Get the ball to Cam Michael. Earns early and often. Travis still caught it. I know. That's what I'm saying. We're nitpicking right now, guys. We are nitpicking when we say that Shedeur didn't throw to the open receivers because he knew what Travis would do. When you trust a guy and he has the contested catch rate that Travis does, which means like anytime the ball was thrown in Travis's way, he was catching it. I as a quarterback would say, okay, I'm giving Travis the ball. Okay. I just am. I am giving Travis the ball. I get it. Okay. I absolutely do. Cam Michael's nursing an injury, still won't see his full potential in maybe the summer, maybe hoping for the best. I mean, I'm excited to see what he can bring. I really, really am. Michael works hard. Trust. It was all about that trust. This year will be receiver by committee. But first off, they have to establish the run and average over 30 yards a game. I mean, don't give a damn. If that happens, guys. Kai, you got it exactly right. Juju's release is ridiculous. Like, I'm telling you, when they said he was a quarterback prodigy, it's absolutely true. Juju is a quarterback prodigy, guys. He is technique perfection. Okay? And he's smart. And he knows the game. So, just saying. Just saying. Okay? Something to think about there. Neely said K. Salter didn't mess up a pass yesterday. I didn't figure they did. I really didn't. I didn't figure they did. Facts for us, this is a true quarterback battle that wants to be done won't be done until fall camp. I mean, we love it, guys. I'm sorry. We love it. We've got depth there, and that's great to have. Wester was the most wide open receiver in games. Agreed. Like, they could have called him 7-Eleven. You know, go back to the old Last Chance U show. They had the receiver that they nicknamed 7-Eleven because he's always open. He's always open. Thank you for saying that. I hate how people underestimate him because of his age. Stampede, who are we talking about? Let me know. Are we talking about Juju? Are we talking about other people? Let me know. Happy to point that out. Like I said, I love pointing out comments in my chat. I love reading through them, answering your guys' question. That's the one thing that differentiates me from a lot of other content creators, is I've built my platform off of communicating with you guys. So feel free to expand on your comments when you guys put them, and I'm happy to direct them, talk about them, make comments on them, all of that. Appreciate you as well. May the best quarterback win. Absolutely. Cam Ward would not have half the stats if he had Shador's O-line. I'd agree on that 100%. You go watch Miami. He was back there sitting for days at times that Shador never got once in his time at Colorado. Once. Back Stampede, I just stopped talking about it. Exactly. At this point, I just want to see them both ball out. Pat Shermer was handcuffed. Shador did what he wanted to do. Maurice, appreciate the comment there. Facts, Juju is a great quarterback, and so is K-Salt. 100%, guys. 100%. This is a true quarterback battle, and it's not because we don't have anything better. It's because we have two darn good quarterbacks. So for anybody from Georgia Tech who want to say that we are rebuilding because we lost Shador Sanders, are not paying attention, and hey, that's fine with me. Okay? Let's catch them off guard game one. Now, by the time we get to game 4, when things really start counting, the cat's going to be out of the bag. We're not going to be able to surprise anybody anymore. Okay, you're talking about Juju. Yeah, I mean, I like both, honestly. I'd be happy with both starting. I give the leg up to K-Salt because of the experience. Again, I said this on the last stream, and somebody called me out you don't just take experience. The thing is, I'm saying that they are both equally good. Okay, if everything is equal, the one thing that Juju can't match is going to be experience and the maturity that comes with the age. Because those are just facts. K-Salt has played college football. Julian Lewis has not yet. K-Salt is older. Julian Lewis is younger. Those are literal facts that when everything else is the same, everything else is the same. It's the one thing that Caden Salter, that Juju Lewis cannot change, that Caden Salter has. But I think that Julian Lewis has the higher ceiling. And I think over the next couple years, he is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in college football. Gonna just say it. Appreciate you, Allie. I like the leaders that the coaches picked yesterday. I agreed on that too. I mean, hey guys, this is Jordan Seaton's team. Let's be honest. It's Jordan Seaton's team. He is the team, guys. That's the biggest thing, is he is your leader. He is your dog. He gets all of it next year. K-Salt said he will still run this year because he knows teams can't stop him. You love it. Hey, Big 12 is known for running quarterbacks. We finally got one. Okay? We've got our guy to combat all those other ones that we see out there. Travis would be over 1,500 yards if Western Shep was not on the roster the way he was getting force-fed that ball. I've been telling people Juju's the truth. Everybody just wanted to doubt him because of his age, which is crazy. And I said it. I said it from the get-go. Before we got K-Salt, and it was just going to be Julian Lewis, I said, I don't care that he's, quote-unquote, a junior in high school. I think he could come in and start and be very good at Division I college football. I really do. We're in incredibly good hands with either. Us fans should be so excited right now, guys. We should be so excited for that fact. People have to understand Juju is for the future after Salter is gone. And it's going to be Juju's team. We're not going to get like high-end transfer quarterbacks after this year. K-Salt was it. After this year, it is Julian Lewis's team. 100% Julian Lewis's team. K-Salt will start, but Juju will see the field for sure. Hey, play him in the Delaware game. Play him in the Delaware game. Give him that experience, or split. Do a half and half. K-Salt, Juju, or hey, let's split time. Let's do multiple packages. Multiple packages. I'd be fine with that. Juju has to get his body and power forward football shape to take on them hits for a whole season. Yes. Exactly. It's like we're not regressing in the backup department here. We're not. Georgia Tech, please sleep on us. Please. They want Juju to start over K-Salt so bad. Not happening maybe next year. I don't know who is they. Maybe other teams do, but I mean, the best player is going to start, period. Nobody talking about Vertice Shelby. He's 6'8", 315. Is he on the roster, or are we talking about a recruit? Because I don't surprisingly know that name. If they just watch K-Salt film, we wouldn't have this discussion. Well, and that's the problem. They see the stats and they see the drop-off that he had last year at Liberty. I watched 2 years ago his games. I watched this last year's game. The biggest thing I can say is the talent at Liberty suffered severely this past year, and that was why K-Salt's stats went down. He had receivers dropping the ball. He had offensive linemen not doing as good of a job. He wasn't able to do his thing. Like, it was there. He could have put up those similar stats if he had the playmakers around him. Guess what? He has the playmakers at Colorado. You can't tell me that his receiving core end, tight end, running back is not better than what he had last year. Now, Liberty was solid the year before when he did well. And so I think we're going to see those similar numbers. I think he could put up another 3,000, 1,000 yard season. Sena, Juju day one starter. Okay, we got a Juju person here. Expect a lot of those 26 recruits from Georgia to come play with Juju. Exactly. That's going to be the thing, guys. Juju is going to go hard after that because that's his class. And I don't know if you guys saw this, by the way. I meant to talk about it, but yesterday, guess who tweeted out a FaceTime that they had with Coach Prime? That's right. Dorian Barney from Juju's high school, cornerback for the 2026 class, 4-star cornerback. I think he's going to end up in Colorado. I think a number of players at Juju's school are going to end up in Colorado. And I think we go after some more Georgia kids in the 26 class that end up coming to Colorado because of Juju. That is absolutely true. Okay, so Ponder, I don't know, okay? I think Ponder sticks around another year just to see what happens, get that experience, be there, be a part of what's going on. Again, I keep saying this, and it's no offense. I'm not trying to say that Staub is terrible or bad or whatnot. But I think it would be in his best interest to go and play somewhere. And by that, I mean drop down a level, go start somewhere, be that quarterback, be him, get your chance. Because unfortunately, I don't know what Staub could do to really jump Juju and Caden Salter at this point. Go down to the FCS level. Go to a school like Montana, who lost their quarterback this year to graduation that almost helped them win a national championship. Go to a school like that, be the starter day one, make a name for yourself, and then see what happens. That's all I would say. I want to see him play, and I want to see him succeed, guys. Vert is the walk-on tackle, I believe. Gotcha. Haynes King is nice, though. We can't sleep on them either. Russ, do you see Juju getting any playing time against Georgia Tech? I would be hesitant. Don't think to throw him just out there. Caden Salter was brought to Colorado for a reason. Yeah, Eric, I kind of mentioned that. I think K-Salt will be the starter for Georgia Tech, and I would be fine with Juju getting some time against Delaware. Give him some time against Delaware. I think that would be great. The thing is, if they watch film, you'll see a majority of his passes were on the money. Receivers couldn't catch the ball. Exactly. They dropped it. They think that he dropped off in skill. No, he dropped off in stats because the skill was not there for the rest of his team. Lady C, he took a high school team to state title game at 13 in big-time Georgia football and been made up his mind and that he was going to reclassify long ago, but I done with. I want Ryan to leave so he can play. Exactly. I think you guys are all in the same boat as me. I think Ponder will stay, Staub will leave. Agreed. I think that's what we're at. We need the safety from North Crowley. Okay, some more players to go after. Ryan needs playing time for sure. Agreed. Ryan could easily go to a CSUSA school and ball out completely. Absolutely. Hey, Ryan would be good at North Dakota State. Yeah. Although they bring him back the second quarterback, the one that they would split time with Cam Miller. So that spot may not be open. But like I said, Montana's a great spot for him. I'm surprised Montanan people aren't like talking about that more. I might pass it along while I'm here and be like, hey, Montana should go after CU's third string quarterback. He could start and be, a big, good player. Ryan Staub has to pride to hit the portal. Someone has to show him the writing on the wall, and I'm sure they will eventually, guys. At the end of spring, I'm sure they will at this point. Let him know. Unless, hey, maybe the team has already told him, like, hey, you can stick around, but you're not going to play. Did y'all see the Heat offers Hilo sent out? Guys, linebacker is bumping. Linebacker is bumping when it comes to recruits. Okay, it is absolutely bumping. We are going to see a very good linebacker recruiting class this upcoming one. Kind of like we saw a really good edge recruiting when we got London Merritt and we got McPherson. I know we got Mantrez Walker this time around, but I think we're going to see multiple linebackers coming in the next round of recruiting. And I think that's going to be a huge, huge aspect to Colorado going next year. Does Bowling Green have a quarterback? He would be good to go there. I mean, yeah. Go join Eddie George there. I mean, Coach Prime could put in a good word for him. Maybe that is. And who knows? That could be it too. Maybe he goes to one of those teams. San Diego State, Norfolk State. Where else? Who are the other ones that have Coach Prime's friends now coaching? I think that would be an important one. Special teams coach Poehler said Coach Prime got eyes on Ben Boozy. How you feeling about that DB room? I feel okay about it. I think we could use some extra depth there. I do. Prime has got to get more DBs. He can't still be down in that position because of Cormani. Cormani hurt him, man. Cormani hurt him. Prime should get Ponder to transfer to Michael Vick at Norfolk State unless he's good with running that scout team. Well, maybe for one more year. Farrakhan hasn't Coach Prime teaching him returns. Coach Prime was one of the best to do it, but not the best. That was Devin Hester. I love how Coach Prime did that. I'm the best. Wait a second. No, I'm not. Devin Hester's the best. Then I'm the best. Love that. Kennesaw State would be a great one to get Ryan. Absolutely. Oh, Eric, do you see another gold jacket? Might not be a long shot, but I got Ray Lewis. Ed Reed eventually, once his kid graduates high school, maybe. Maybe they're setting up for Ed Reed to finally come join. Maybe his son would like to come to Colorado as a player. Who knows? That could be my call for the next one. Absolutely. Mike Vick could use him. Yep, at Norfolk. I like that, by the way. I don't know if you saw this, guys. Conversations are in place to have Colorado and Norfolk State play in the non-conference games later on when we have some openings, which I believe in 2 years we have some openings that we could fill with that. So just another thing that came out is CU and Norfolk State in conversations to have a matchup between the two teams so that Vic and Prime's teams could play one another. Ben Boozy going to be a good player. Cormani getting his act now too. Hey, and I will give Cormani all the credit, guys. I will give Cormani all the credit. And I said it, and somebody else, one of the Colorado players said it too. They said it. They said that he has the skill, he has the ability, but he needed to figure his stuff out. He needed to figure out and mature. Unfortunately, he fought it way too hard here for us to give him that chance, especially with what they were paying him. He has to be a walk-on. I'll give him credit for being a walk-on player and doing the things that he needed to the right way and earning himself the opportunities that he is right now. Antonio Gates or Tony Gonzalez, gold jacket, tight end coach. Oh, who was it? I had the I got a Hall of Fame player for you. You guys are not going to get this one. How about a kicking coach? How about a potential Hall of Fame candidate? Because guess what? Guess what, guys? There's a CU alum that just retired from the NFL. A CU alum that may be one of the best kickers in the NFL. How about we bring him in? I thought about that as soon as he retired. I was like, man, would that be perfect? We could use an extra special teams kicking coach to have on staff. Why not bring somebody home? Why not bring him home, baby? Bring Mason Crosby back to Boulder, please. I would love it. I get it. Maybe not. Maybe he wants to. Maybe Coach Prime picks up the phone and says, hey, Mason, maybe a David Bakhtiari wants to come back to Boulder. There's a lot of alum out there, guys, that are pretty darn good, okay? There's a reason we went with Andre Girard for offensive line coach, okay? That's your CU alumnus. But I would love to see that. That's another one I would love to see. Oh, hey, Chad. I'm liking the energy around this team. They look like they're closer, more together, holding each other accountable because Coach Prime knows who he's going after now, guys. That's the big thing. That first year, he was just kind of grabbing whatever he could find, skills, see what sticks. And he found out very quickly that he made some bad decisions. I mean, you go back, you look at the Cormani decision at the time. You look at, some of the other players that were brought in that, unfortunately got kicked off the team. He has now really gotten to the point where he knows what kind of player is going to work here. And that is what we're seeing more and more when it comes to this team and this program, which is why you're seeing a much more tighter program, a much more tighter unit each and every day. And it's going to show up on the field in more ways than one. It really is. What happened with Mantrez? What do you mean what happened with Mantrez? TK say something about Mantrez? What? I don't see a comment from TK on Mantrez. Houston week 3. Is Houston week 3? Not sure what the question is. Oh, there's another one, Jay. There's another one. There you go. Nate Solder. Would Nate Solder want to come back to Boulder at some point? Do you think Colorado will ever get fireworks running out of the field because the smoke just not it? There's going to be some changes to the game day atmosphere this year. Just wait. I think there is. Maybe not this year, maybe next year. The boosters and the program have been looking into ways of improving the game day experience at Folsom. Yep. Got to tip my cap off to Coach Swayze. He really is the truth, and we're not even close to full camp and summer workouts. Agreed. He knows what he's doing. This year's team definitely gelling fast. That's good to see. CU should add some type of light show. Yep, that's the big one that the boosters are looking into. Is a light show similar to other teams. Salute you, Almighty Law. Appreciate you dropping by. Come on, dog. I'm asking, are CU playing Houston in week 3? Yes. Yes, they are. So, opening game, Georgia Tech. Then we got Delaware. Then we've got Houston. Then we've got Wyoming. That's your first 4 weeks. So, sorry. Yeah, I meant to say the 4th game. Oh, look, we have a guest. We have a guest on the show today. My dog just came to say hello to everybody. He's probably needing something, so I'm not going to go very much longer so he doesn't have to deal with not having me around. I feel sorry for Stubbs. He was QB2. Now nobody talking even about him like he didn't have press, even though he not better than Ponder. Love how we all notice that this team just feels different and that we're confident in where they're going. I mean, you can just tell. You can tell. I would agree on that, Ali. I want to smoke Houston. We need to smoke Houston because they have not added a lot. And they weren't that good last year. And we need to get them back for not beating up on BYU last year for us, which could have got us into that conference championship game. But again, appreciate you guys so much for dropping by. Hey, hit that like. If you're over on Twitter, we've got 55 plus on Twitter. I can't believe that. The numbers are actually higher on Twitter. Jump over to YouTube. Guys, jump on over to YouTube, please. This is where I get the most support. You come over to YouTube, you hit the subscribe button, you hit the like button. That's going to help me out the most. That's how you support this channel, support what I'm doing, all of that stuff. Absolutely appreciate it if you guys do that. And you can join the conversation over here. Unfortunately, we can't get Twitter to feed in here, but you can come join the conversation, be a part of the chat, which I absolutely love. Everybody today was awesome. Great conversation. Great audience today for sure. So again, appreciate you guys for dropping by. That's going to do it for me today. Hey, big update real quick. Tomorrow, I believe tomorrow night, be doing a show with David Talks Buffs. So be on the lookout for that schedule announcement over on Twitter and YouTube. Make sure you come and join us live. We're going to talk about spring. We're going to talk about the roster, talk about what we're looking for, what we're seeing each individually, and of course, answer all of your questions. So until tomorrow night, for Buffs News Weekly Live, I'm your host, Russ Dornish. We will see you next time. Go Buffs!